before or ayahuasca? Jamie, look that up.
What is that?
Joe Rogan. You don't listen to Joe Rogan?
Some of his episodes. I think we're live right now.
For sure.
Let me just check.
Jamie, look that
Yeah, I think we're live. We should be
up.
good.
Okay.
Okay, so we're live. All right, we have the mother Kevin in the house, which I was just it was funny because like this is the first time I have you on my channel. I actually don't know if I've ever recorded a video with you.
The only time I was on your channel was when you went to my surprise birthday thing. That Nellen, that Nellen
You've been counting, huh? You've been counting to see if.
did.
Yeah, I've been on your channel a couple times. I don't know. I just weird. I've never brought you
Selfish,
on.
man. Hold on, let me mute myself. Yeah, but selfish, man. No, just kidding.
All right. Well, this should be pretty interesting. This is something that I actually want to know myself, which is the type of work that you do now. Since a lot of people that follow you know that you transitioned out of pharmacy and into this whole media space. So I know you tell me a lot about your business, but to be honest, I think I'm a little ignorant to all the stuff that goes on. So I want to dig a little deeper into kind of your journey into this space, and then also, what do you do in your day to day basis? But let's start with the basics because I don't. So maybe some of my audience don't know who you are. Can you give kind of like a general background of your name, your age, like what you do, how would you describe yourself, and then where you are located?
That's a lot of questions all at once. And how about my social security too? Does
Yes,
that count too?
that too, for sure.
All right. Yeah, so if you don't know me, my name is Kevin Yi. I'm actually a former pharmacist, but still licensed actually. I just renewed my California license the other day. It was 500 bucks. Crazy.
That's
But
expensive.
anyways, yeah, so I'm a former pharmacist. If you guys watch any pharmacy type of stuff, you probably seen my face at one point. Probably in the pharmacy world, I was known for doing a lot of pharmacy Q&A type of things as well, and just kind of like lifestyle things too. Always wanted to be a YouTuber back in the day, and more recently, I would say I've been kind of like the how would you put it, the outcast, or like the
Hmm.
I was speaking the truth by with my don't do pharmacy videos as well, because I felt like it was very important for a lot of these um, a lot of these new students to know the reality behind pharmacy. But as far as what I do now, I still do YouTube. So if you guys follow me, you can go there and find me. But I also do digital marketing consulting and high ticket sales as well. So that's what I do at the moment. I've since my 3 years away from pharmacy, I've just dove in 100% into it, building out like digital courses, digital products, doing consulting as well, sales, all that sort of stuff. So I've seen the whole gambit of everything that's out there. Right now, I'm working on doing taking my knowledge and actually coaching people to build a career in these fields as well. So that's like a very high level of what I do, but yeah, I hope that kind of gives a high
Dude,
level.
this is why I have no idea what you do. You do so many different things. And Jung is in the house. He says, "What's up?" And then he says that it's hard to hear you. So I'm gonna actually put on my headphones as well to see if we can
Okay.
improve the audio. So
Is it on my end or is it
no,
from
no,
your end?
I think it's on my end. I think it's on my end. So let me just change this real quick.
Um, yeah, I can crank up my audio if I need to.
No, I hear you fine on my end. I'm surprised that it is like that bad here. Let me. Ooh, that is loud. Okay, that is good. Out. No, 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 no. You're good. You're good. No, keep it at that side. Just don't
Okay,
scream.
I'll keep
Just
it
just
here.
just
I'm
don't
not
scream.
touching it. I'm not touching it.
Okay.
It probably doesn't work when we're both when we're both adjusting our audio.
Yeah.
Hella funny.
Let me try that. Let's see if that works. Because now I
Yeah.
switched it over to the speakers.
That's good.
How's that?
No, no, no. You're good. You're good. No, keep it at that side. Just don't. Okay. I'll keep it here.
Yeah, I think that's better. It sounds better on here. Okay. Let's. Well, Kevin, you can't hear Kevin because Kevin's not saying anything right now. Can you say something, Kevin? Oh crap! Now I can't hear you either.
Oh, I you can hear me
Oh,
now.
there you go. There you go. Okay, I can hear you. Okay, perfect. All right, sorry guys, sorry for the technical difficulties here. Kevin and I are just kind of chilling and chatting, so maybe we'll just look at the audience here. We're kind of sad. According to the best healthcare jobs in 2021, pharmacy came the very last. Oh yeah, well I wanted to make a video about that too, talking about how the best healthcare jobs in 2021 and pharmacy came. Did you see that?
No, I have no idea what's happening.
Just the fact that there is a report that came out about the best healthcare jobs in 2021 and pharmacy ranked last.
Good. I mean, it just goes to my point that like, what I was saying was like what we were actually going through in pharmacy that a lot of people weren't talking about. So I'm glad. Well, I'm not glad that that's the case, but I'm glad that the traditional media is picking up on it as well.
Okay. Well, Kevin, I have some questions that I'm going to use to kind of guide us through this journey here. But before we jump in, I wanted to ask some burning questions deep down. I've always wanted to ask you. These are rapid fire questions, okay? And it's going to be either one or two. So
one or two? Okay.
Off the top of your head, tell me which one you like, okay?
Okay, gotcha. One or two. Gotcha.
Okay, ready. There's only 6 questions. It'll be very fast.
All right.
First question, is it the journey or the destination?
Destination. Shit. I meant
Oh,
journey.
no.
Fuck.
Talent or hard work?
Hard work.
Pho or ramen?
Pho. For sure, baby.
Bezos or Musk?
Musk. He's more interesting.
Club or bar?
Club.
Yeah, I knew that one.
For sure.
Audio or video?
Audio.
That was unexpected. Okay, cool. Let's jump into some questions. So it seems like you do a lot of different things, and like the title of the video here is described as pharmacist entrepreneur, but when you introduce yourself like actually out in the business world, is there another way you use to describe yourself, or do you say like ex-pharmacist?
No, on YouTube I call myself like a former pharmacist, YouTuber, and entrepreneur. I hate, by the way, I hate entrepreneur. I hate that word.
Can you tell me why? Why do you hate?
Yeah, so generic, right? Like you can be like a Chinese seafood or like a freaking make restaurant, Chinese restaurant chef, and that makes you entrepreneur. But at the same time, you could have like a real estate business and also be an entrepreneur, or you can have a digital business. You know, it's very wide, and it doesn't really, it just means like you just started something, right? But it doesn't really get what you want across as well.
But to be fair, you said you didn't like it because it's generic, which you provided a couple of examples on why, but isn't that what we were taught as pharmacists, to always pick generic?
And maybe that's why pharmacists aren't really well known for what they do, because they're too generic about what they do.
Too terrible of a joke. Okay. Okay, that's fair. Is there something else you would prefer to be described as? So on your YouTube channel, you said former pharmacist, but what about with your like clients and stuff?
Yeah, it depends. So everything is like very niched. When I'm introducing myself, I always like to think about who am I speaking to. So if I'm speaking to one of my investing students or something like that, I call myself a millennial personal finance guide, right? Not guru. That's how I introduce myself on Kick-Ass Investing. When I am speaking to like a client that I'm doing more digital marketing consulting, I'll call myself, hey, I'm a digital marketing strategist or a digital marketing consultant, right? So that's how I do that. If I'm doing more like consulting on high ticket sales, or if I'm doing fulfillment for high ticket sales as well, I'll call myself a high ticket sales strategist or high ticket. I don't ever use high ticket closer, but I always introduce myself as a high ticket sales specialist or something like that, right? And then finally, are those all the designations I do? Yeah, I think those are pretty much it, right? Like, but I think that's the key thing is like you have to know who you're speaking to get your point across as well, right?
Okay. Well, man of many talents, can you tell me a little bit about what does your day-to-day look like? Because you do so many different things.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. Let me kind of bring up my calendar. So a funny thing is like I never remember what I do. I just have set blocks and I work like a drone, right? So my day-to-day, every day looks a little different, right? Like typically how I structure my day, there's like there's a typical priority that day, right? So for example, if we're to look at my day next week, right? Usually the mornings I like to do something like jujitsu or go to the gym as well. I always do that. Then I have some sort of client meetings in the morning too. And then I'm doing like some sort of client fulfillment for high ticket sales as well. And when I say fulfillment, it basically means I'm just doing shit for my clients, client work, right? And then
And what does that entail? What does client work entail?
yeah, so it really depends which client I'm working with. So I have like everything from high ticket sales where I'm actually doing sales for them, right? So people will book a call with me, we'll do a consult, and then we'll get a contract to work on a longer engagement with my client. So that's like one aspect of, or that's a piece of scope of work that I do. Another part of client work includes like I do consulting. So I do like performance based consulting where like they're trying like this, maybe a digital marketing agency or social media agency or something like that. They'll come up to me, they're like, dude, we need help scaling our business. And then I will provide them consulting. I'll meet with them. Sometimes I'll do a little bit of, I wouldn't say execution in terms of picking up the phones and stuff and speaking to their clients, but I'll build out processes, tools, and stuff out for them as well. So that's another aspect of client work. And then the final one as well, I also do coaching for high ticket sales and what I do as well, like like kind of like the consulting type of framework that I do. So yeah, doing work for them. So that's kind of like the client work that I do.
Okay. It honestly blows my mind the variety of different things that you do. And to be honest, I can't really keep track of everything right now. But
Everything.
let me ask you, in a given work week, we compare it to the general population. Do you work more than 40 hours a week, less than 40 hours a week, or usually it's about 40 hours a week?
I try to cap it now. Like I used to work 24/7, which isn't really a work schedule. But I try to cap it to like about 40 hours a week. These days, back in the day, there was no barrier. I was working like 60, 70 plus hours, but I'm very intentional now these days to cut my hours and to be hyper focused on what I'm doing. But just so that it's easier for you to remember, Brian, right? Like there's three ways I charge my clients, right? So I'm doing the work for them.
Okay.
They're buying my knowledge. That's the consulting, right? Or I'm teaching others how to do what I do, right? As well, right?
Okay.
Career development. That's kind of like what I do.
Now, you originally listed a couple of titles in the beginning when I was asking you about how you introduce yourself. If you were to break down all the different roles that you do, or like quote unquote jobs that you do, what would you say is the highest percentage that you do? Is it more so a lot more coaching? Is it a lot more consulting? Is it a lot more ticketing, creating courses? Like what is the biggest percentage, and what does that allocation kind of look like?
I would say the biggest allocation probably goes between, so it's recently switched, right? As well. So like in the past, it used to be like all doing like sales and consult, like doing client fulfillment for sales and stuff like that. So that's what it looked like when I first transitioned. But what I'm doing is like I want more scalable sorts of businesses as well, right? I'm not into trading. Like I don't want to say trading time for money is a bad thing. It's not a bad thing,
I
right?
get you.
But the more that you can transition these services, like where you're not being paid on your time, but you're paid for the assets that you create, that's I think that's what I'm transitioning more into. So these days it's a little bit more like I'm doing a lot more YouTube, right? And doing a lot more YouTube marketing, because that feeds everything. Actually, believe it or not, my content marketing, it gets me well known in the industry. It gets me clients. It gets me coaching clients too, which is really cool. That's actually something I've implemented. Probably I've been working on for the last 3 months. So I dropped all my other clients previously, and just to focus 100% on coaching, right? As well, like building a really solid program that's really going to make a difference in people's lives and help people like other pharmacists or even people who are really young kind of level up in this industry of chaos. It's fucking chaotic, dude. But yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. And this quarter, I'm kind of like more focused on client fulfillment and stuff too. So I can show like the inner workings to my actually so I can show my inner workings of what I do for my 8-figure clients to my students as well. And then I'm able to take all that knowledge that I'm seeing from 8-figure businesses and apply it to my smaller clients as well. Does that make sense? So it's kind of like an ecosystem that feeds each other, but I don't know a good word or way to put it. Um, yeah, it's like essentially what I do is like I would say almost like
I think about the statue of that guy carrying the world. This is seems like that's what you're doing right now. It's just like you're carrying. You're the ecosystem.
yeah, I would say like honestly like I would call myself like almost a digital marketing consultant because when you're consulting, there's a little bit of execution, there's a little bit of fulfillment. With digital marketing, you need to know how to build out like marketing funnels, but you also need to sell. And that's only a word that or only description that makes sense. But then again, it's kind of like, yo, I'm a pharmacist, right? There's a lot of different types of pharmacists. There's you, that's an informatics pharmacist. There are people like me who are slaves, which were community pharmacists. No, just kidding. But you get the point, right? Like, so it's kind of like a very broad term. And that's why I always cater what I do to what the person wants as well when I introduce myself to clients.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fair. And so if I can summarize that one piece, it sounds like a lot of the time and effort is really spent on one, content creation through your YouTube. And then two is another thing with spending time on coaching. And then I guess three is just like a little bit of everything.
Like consulting, like my smaller clients, like I don't do any fulfillment. That took a lot of time earlier in the year, but like you have to realize like things go in cycles, right? When you're trying to build something, since I'm building assets, right? Once everything is like set up and on autopilot, right? I don't have to really touch it too much anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like earlier in the year, I was really busy on setting up the systems of my YouTube channel. I was very busy setting up the systems for my other client. I was busy setting up the systems for my coaching offers as well. So I couldn't do like the sales and fulfillment as well. I just did not have the time. But now that those things are completed, I can go back to, oh, now I just need to throw money at all my systems and they're going to grow for the rest of the year. Does that make sense?
Can I just ask, how many clients do you typically balance, and does it vary quite a lot throughout the months or weeks?
I mean, I was really naive when I first started. I thought I could like do 10 different clients. Like, there's no way.
So 10's a lot. Basically.
10's way too much, right?
But
like,
you had team too, didn't you?
I did at one point. I dissolved it though. And I can tell you more about that later. But just to go back to your original question in terms of how many clients do I balance, like right now for my coaching, I'm balancing three students. I max it out to 3 slots, right? For coaching. So that will take roughly like 3 fulfillment hours per week. So I look at my resource pool, right? For the week, I allocate all the times I'm working and I balance out my resource pool as well. And I calculate the amount of hours I need to do. For my client, when I'm actually doing sales fulfillment, when I'm like talking to people, closing deals and stuff like that, I only have like 1 client for that because that's very intensive. Like I'm spending anywhere from almost 5 hours alone per day alone on that, right? And it's very intensive work. It's not like, oh, we're counting pills. No, it's like I have to be quick on my feet and I have to be able to persuade or like to ask really deep questions to people so that we have a higher chance to close the deal, right? And then finally, my last client, which is more consulting role, I have 1 client for that. So 1, 1, 3. And I treat my own YouTube channel as a client as well.
As you should. That's very interesting. You said 5 hours a day for what would you got? Sales?
Sales fulfillment.
Sales fulfillment. And out of curiosity, how do you find leads on that? Like, who do you pitch to?
Yeah. So when I'm presenting like when I'm like selling and stuff, for sales fulfillment, I don't do the marketing or anything like that. That the client's actually responsible for that as well. Right. So they're the ones that are generating leads. They are doing paid media, Facebook ads, Google ads, and all that sort of stuff. And they're responsible for that, right? Not me. For The real
So
question.
so they get the leads and then they give it to you, and then you're trying to close the deals.
I'm responsible for conversion.
Ah,
Yeah,
interesting. I'm learning a
yeah,
lot. This is
yeah.
okay. Very cool.
In
So
that role, in that role,
in that role,
yes,
yes.
yeah.
Okay. And to tag onto that, in any question that I ask, of course, if you don't feel comfortable answering, just say we're not going to talk about
Making me
that.
uncomfortable, bro.
Just always, always.
Yeah.
But what is the typical like return on investment look like for you? I imagine like it's a little sporadic, but like can you
It's
give us
very it's
very
very volatile. Yeah, it's extremely volatile.
can you give
Like
me like by per week or per month or per year? Like what does it range from?
I'll give you like just the other just the last just the last few weeks, honestly, or just the last like week or two. I had a $3,000 day, like a day, like in three I had a $3,300 day, right? That's one day. Yesterday I had a 2K day, but there's a lot of zero days too, because I'm only starting to do client fulfillment this week, right? So I haven't been doing it during this time. But when I am doing client fulfillment too, it could be, you can have 16K, like you can literally have 4K weeks,
Wow.
or 16K, like 16K weeks, but you can have as little as 50 sometimes. Imagine this. You're on YouTube, you see AdSense. What's the most you ever made on AdSense?
Like per month or per year?
Per month? Or yeah, per month, yes.
Per month is probably 193
Okay, what's the lowest that you made, like within the last year?
in the last year, maybe 70.
70. Okay, so you can see. And is it always 190 for you? Like
Oh, definitely
every,
no. Of
definitely
course not.
not. How many of those happen, like 190?
I mean, 2020 was a unique year. I think that happened for maybe like four months that hovered in the like 170, 190 range.
Okay, 4 months. And how many were really crap, like 70? Like how many of those months did you have?
I think three.
Three. Okay, yeah, so it's very similar to that as well. You ride these with like really high highs, really low lows sometimes, but it teaches you how to be a lot more stoic and not be so emotional with the it's almost like you can really get sucked into this entrepreneurial world, and it can be like gambling sometimes. But the reason why I asked you about your YouTube is like, compared to a year ago, do you have a higher chance? Do you have a higher probability than you did hitting 190 than you did 1 year ago?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So that's kind of like the same thing with like what I'm doing right now as I build up more assets, right? Um, those 3K days become more and more higher and higher probability. If you ask me, Kevin, would you have a 3K day like 1 year, like 4 years ago when you were in pharmacy? I would have said no, zero chance in hell. But now, like I'm really putting myself in an opportunity where I can actually be able to do that, you know?
So you've been doing this kind of work for 3 years now? Has it been total 3 years?
Yeah, it's been pretty freaking crazy, believe it or not.
That is crazy. It feels like it was yesterday when you were telling me that you're like switching and all that. But why don't we take this in a slightly different direction here, where like take me back to that time, because I remember, I guess 3 years ago when you were leaving pharmacy and thinking about getting into this space and doing more like entrepreneur type work. How, like, what were you feeling? Like, what would make you take the risk from leaving a quote unquote safe job, or a job in general, because it seems like you had offers to go back for a pharmacy job, and just going full throttle here? Like, what was going through your head? Like, how did you even make that decision to do it? That's a big
Yeah.
risk.
Yeah, and here's the thing that um I sometimes talk about on my channel, but
I don't watch your channel, man.
KevinYee.tv, by the way, shameless plug. No, don't click off because I'm going to say something really important. So what people don't see, they see kind of like this meteor, like this crazy ups and downs. I talk about 3K day, but I also talk about my 0K, like my $0 days too. There's a lot of those, but no one just like, but before all that, no one saw me like take these courses for digital marketing and like reading copywriting books and trying to get a copywriting client as well, right? Like no one saw that aspect as well. And I think like, so I've told this story a few times, but basically what happened in 2018 is that my former employer actually found my YouTube channel. They terminated me. They didn't like the fact that I had a YouTube channel, first of all. So there was that. My dad actually passed away and stuff, and it just had me like thinking everything happened all at once. And I was like, at the time I was actually seriously considering going back to pharmacy. I wasn't thinking about YOLO, fuck it, like let's do like YOLO swag, bro, like let's go into this. No, I was going on these interviews, and I was just I had one memorable interview where it was like, this is like it was for advanced practitioner pharmacists, practice pharmacists. They were going to train me and do everything like that. They really liked my experience. They liked everything that I did, but it didn't feel right. I remember sitting out in a parking lot. I think I did IG live too on this. Like it just did not feel right. And I started thinking at that point, I was like, man, I've been wanting to do this digital marketing stuff for a few years now. It's not like I just suddenly made the move and decided. It's been a very calculated type of thing where I was building up these skills over time, right? And I was like, this is moving so fucking slow. I need something, not saying something faster, but what I'm currently doing, I'm never going to get to my destination. I just came to that realization, right? It's just like, it's going to take freaking forever, you know? And maybe this is the time. Maybe like and for people that don't know, I was like, when I was a pharmacist, I was stashing most of my cash away because I knew that I was like investing it. I was doing crypto. I was doing a lot of different things, but I always kind of figured that one day, like maybe something like me wanting to start a business would come into play. And so when I made that decision, when I was just like, you know what, maybe it is time, let's just give it a shot, maybe we'll do something digital marketing related. I had actually I didn't have a plan, believe it or not. I just knew that I would be in the digital space or something like that. I didn't even know what high ticket sales was, but then yeah,
Well,
I was
you were
just like,
taking the course at that time, right, to get into high
no,
ticket sales. You were?
no, I wasn't. No, this was before that.
Oh wow. So someone like for me who's very risk adverse, can you tell me like what was the period of unemployment and what was the amount of surplus you had to, even I guess in the startup world they call it like the runway, like how much money could keep you sustained? Because if you don't have a job, you have to pay rent, you have to feed yourself. How do you even start a business with no money? Like what did that look like? So that was two questions. One, what was the unemployment time frame? And then two, what reserves did you have to keep yourself going? Like how did you feel, like what did you feel comfortable with?
Yeah, I think well, when I first started, I was just like, fuck, I only have so much runway. I need to stop the bleeding right away. But I had a very healthy amount as well, like
And this if you don't
50,
want to okay.
50, 60K maybe, I would say.
And
Like I had a
what would you think that will last? How long did you think like that would?
I didn't even calculate it. I didn't even think that way, to be honest with you. That was cash, by the way. That's not like including my other investments as well, right?
Man, that's risk. That's yeah, okay. Because you live in
So
you lived in LA too.
I was like, fuck it, like yeah, so I was pretty conservative like when I first got out. Like I all the stuff that I really enjoy, like going to coffee shops and all that sort of stuff, I completely stopped. I just cut
Mm.
everything, cut off. I stopped investing at that point too, like into the stock market as well, because I was like, I don't have so much runway. I need to reprioritize everything as well, like in terms of stopping the bleeding. And so that's when I took the course on high ticket sales and stuff. And I was like, okay, maybe I could sell either my own products or like my own digital marketing services, or I could do sales fulfillment for someone else, right? And that's an advantage. Like when you learn sales and marketing, you can either start something yourself or you can sell for other people. So essentially it makes you a little bit, if you're good, only if you're good, right? A recession proofs yourself essentially, right? So in terms of the runway of how long it took me to find my client, it was rough, dude. Like I went through so many, it's kind of like when I went through so many clients where it was like these people thought they needed like a closer or something like that, but they didn't really need it. So it took me like almost, I would say, 8 months since I finished the program until I found a real solid high ticket client. And even so, even when I found my client, I did not do that well. I was like biting the dust. Like I was horrible, and I needed a little bit more time to get better.
Are you still with that client?
No, we ended like maybe back in October or September.
Oh, fairly recent though.
Yeah, yeah. So this was my first major client, and they were scaling from 6 figures to 8 figures. So I got to be part of that implement,
Wow.
like that journey, and I also met like top people in the industry as well. So that's how I was able to get really good. I was taking advice, like mentor, like I was getting mentored by the people who have been in the industry 20 plus years, and also like top level consultants too. Like I had consulting friends I met through the closing course as well, like real consultants. We're not talking about I'm a consultant on LinkedIn. No, we're talking about like EY partner level like consulting, you know.
Oh, I
And
thought you were
so
talking about Ty Lopez.
Ty Lopez, I met his sales manager, by the way. So I did
Oh,
meet
cool.
Ty Lopez's sales manager. It's pretty funny, but so yeah, so I met like all sorts of people, and it was a really crazy during that time. But that was when I started seeing the ups and downs of closing as well, and it was
But
crazy.
taking back, so I'm trying to get the timeline in here. So how long was the course? That's one question. And then after the course, you said 8 months of not finding a client.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah,
after you found the client, then it was terrible. But how long was the course?
yeah. The course was 8 weeks.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah,
Eight
so the
weeks.
course was 8 weeks, and then so just to give you a timeline, I pretty much lost my job, like my job and my dad around January. Let's call it January, like of 2019. I take the course through a recommendation of my friend. My friend, like Matt Tran, he thought it was like a really great course, and he recommended me take it. Um, and so that was around April. Course was like two more, um, June, and then oh, and by the way, during this time I was growing my YouTube channel too, so I was actually getting consistent AdSense at this point.
And
Pretty
about how
crazy.
much? Do you remember like how much?
Through affiliates, probably sometimes almost like on a bad month it would be like 300. On a really good month it would be like sometimes a few thousand through the
Oh,
affiliates. Yeah.
that's pretty good. But
So
you're talking about AdSense plus affiliates, right?
yeah, so it's like blended. So when people ask you like how much money do you make on YouTube, it's a very complicated
Yeah.
question because there's a lot of revenue stream, like there's a lot of monetization like streams lumped into it. It's not as simple as like getting a paycheck, right? As well. But that was happening too, so that was keeping me afloat too. And then yeah, I only started feeling like I was thriving like maybe 2000, early 2000, no, late 2000, probably July 2019. That's when I thought I was, or that's when I thought I was like really thriving and getting good, you know.
That was before you had your first client or after?
Oh, sorry. Let me paint out the timeline. So took the course April, um found finished my course in June, started doing YouTube, getting affiliates probably around January of 2019. That's when we started onboarding with the client as well. And then probably around July, that's when I started getting kind of good with the client and making pretty decent money at that point.
What's considered decent money?
Decent money is anywhere from like, well, if you're making like we would have like 4K weeks, so that was like 16K per month sometimes. Other times it'd be like okay, so it'd be like 1.5K per week sometimes, just through that one client as well, if that makes sense.
What did you do with the surplus money? Did you just save it away or
I started, well, so the thing is when you're a business owner too, I'm always thinking about like taxes and stuff like that too. So I was thinking about like for my first year, what are all the things that I need, right? For my business. What can I write off as well? Like because I wasn't really writing off too much when I was when I was a pharmacist. I didn't give a fuck, dude. I didn't care. But then I started becoming a little bit more savvy with my taxes and stuff, and just like, okay, I'm gonna buy this really nice camera. Like, this is the same camera I bought. I think I bought this camera like last year-ish as well with the lens.
What
So
camera?
if you see,
What camera do you got?
I have a GH5,
GH5. What lens?
1.7, 15 millimeter.
15 millimeter? You said 1.7?
Yeah, 1.7 aperture.
Is GH5 an APS-C?
No, it's a micro four
Oh,
thirds.
yeah, I should know that. Micro Four Thirds. Nice. Yes, crystal
Yeah.
clear. Okay, keep going. Keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the timeline that if that answers your question.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me see here. Let's go into fast forward a little bit because I watched a video recently on your YouTube that you're leaving California. It seems like that's like the talk of the town nowadays because I saw Musk is leaving. I don't know who else. There's a lot of people talking about leaving because of the taxes. Two questions here. One, why are you leaving? Like, as succinct as possible. Of course, everyone in the channel can go check out Kevin's video, so you can go check out why he's leaving.
Thanks for plugging me.
Yeah, one, as succinct as possible. Why are you leaving? And then two, what is your biggest fear for your upcoming move? So two questions.
Okay, so why am I leaving? Well, I mean, I wasn't planning to move this year at all. It came really last minute. It probably only came within the last 2 weeks, actually, where I decided to move. Because essentially the place I'm renting out is actually from a family friend and whatnot, and their son is actually moving back in, so they're terminating my lease. And it just so happens that earlier this month was the last day of my lease, and they're like, yeah, Kevin, we need you to move out. So I was like, shit, right? But like at first I was like, fuck, dude, like I'm going through so much shit, man. Like my relationship life is fucked. Like my financial life is like always up and down, especially when I took that break. I took a huge financial hit, by the way. I was like double downing into investing into a business coach, into a YouTube coach as well, and I wasn't taking on new clients. So I was like kind of living off the income that I made previously through my last client as well. So there's that. And then I had like a situation with my mom earlier in the year too, like where she had a brain tumor and I had to go back to Boston for a few months. So I was paying rent all this time, shit. And I was like, fuck, now I can't even enjoy my place. So I was like, fuck. But that's the thing about entrepreneurship. Sometimes you just have to ride out these waves and just be very like stoic sometimes, right? So I started thinking, like, I set out all my goals for this year. Like I want to get my jiu-jitsu purple belt from 10th Planet. I wanted to we can talk about goals later, but there was essentially goals, and I was thinking about all my options. I was like, okay, I have option one. I can stay in LA, or I can stay in LA, California, right? I love it here. It's really nice, like minus the homeless like situation and the government and all that sort of stuff. Everything that all Californians complain about is like very true here. So I could do that, right? That's option one, pay the premium and live in California. Option two is like move back home with my mom in Boston, but option, which I didn't really want to do, honestly, because I was just like, man, like I've lived like the last 7 months with my mom, and it's like, it's good and all, but like I'm not growing. I'm not surrounded by people I that are like, I love my friends back home, but it's not like they're doing the same things as well. And
you
having
should move to
community
DC. Move to DC.
I got mad allergies. I can't go to DC.
Okay.
Like, yeah, that's another thing. I have allergies. Third thing was go to Texas, meet up my friend, my consultant friend as well. Like live with him. He offered me his place as well to stay, which was really nice. I didn't take that. Last one is go to Vegas as well. So I could go to Vegas. My uncle lives there. I can spend time with him as well, and go from there. And he actually offered me his place. Like I could just stay there for like 6 months to a year.
Oh wow.
So, and plus, so I was thinking about, so those are all my options, right? I weighed them out, and I was like, well, I would love to pay the premium on California. Everything's locked down, right? And does it really make sense to pay like, what is it, 13 or 18, 16% of percent on California state tax alone.
That's
Is it worth
crazy.
paying that? I don't think so, right? It doesn't make sense when everything's locked down. As well, I'm not seeing my friends. So maybe it's a better idea to go to Vegas because there's a 10 Planet Jiu-Jitsu out there. There are a lot of entrepreneurs are out there too. I don't have too many friends out there at the moment, but like I'm sure I can make new friends out there, man. And it's like I can go into the strip if I really wanted a sense of adventure. And I can like leave whenever I want as well. So it's kind of that. And I can go visit my friends back in California. So that's how I kind of, and obviously no state income tax as well. And it's really
Vegas? Vegas has no state income tax?
Nevada.
Oh, Nevada.
Yeah.
I did not know
Nevada.
that.
Yeah. So that's an important decision when you're a business owner too, right? It's like you have to go where you're treated best, and it's just like maybe this and lower cost of living too.
Yeah.
So those were some of the factors that I considered going there. And yeah, so I looked at my goals and I was like, can I hit all my goals while I'm in Vegas? Absolutely. And the way I view it, it might be temporary. It's probably not. It's probably not permanent.
Yeah, I know you're gonna move to DC eventually, so.
No, fuck that.
Okay, so second part of the question. Obviously, you put a lot of thought into this. But actually, before I do that, because you mentioned Stoicism twice already. Have you heard of the Serenity Prayer?
No, you want to recite the Serenity Prayer to
Yeah,
me?
I do. I actually I always forget how to say his name. Ali
Lee
Abdul.
Abdal.
Ali Abdal. So like every now and then I watch some of his stuff and I get good things from it. And one of the books that he talked about was Homework for Life. And one
Oh
of those
yes.
things he mentioned in there, I don't remember why I talked about that, but one is the Serenity Prayer, and it plays on being stoic. And let me just read it. So the Serenity Prayer is, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I think a lot of people stress out about things that they can't change,
Mhm.
and part of it is thinking that, no, it's something I can't change. Just there's no point in stressing over it and just focus on the things that you can. So in your case, you're not stressing over the fact that, you're the place you're at right now, you have to move and you're just focused on what needs to change next.
Yeah, and I've been reading Stoic thought for like since the early 2015s, right? When I was a pharmacist, because I needed something that would help me during those tough times. But even though you understand these concepts, it's
It's
not
hard.
like it's hard to actually implement.
Yeah.
And that's why I have my business coach. He's a very stoic like type of person. And he always reminds me. And you would think like, oh, fuck your feelings. No, stoic thought is actually the other way, right? Where it's like learning to accept your feelings, but
Yes.
doing it anyways. And for me, one thing, as you're saying, like, I'm not happy that I'm leaving here. Like, I'm not happy that this is happening at the moment. I'm actually quite pissed, but like
You
that's the immaturity side within me, right? Getting upset and want to play victim and be like, fuck you, blah blah blah, trash the place, right? Like there's a piece of me that is there like that, but then I'm just like,
but you accept it.
I have to. Yeah, I have
Yeah.
to accept it. And then it's just like this is the mature side where you have to think about how can I turn this into an opportunity. And I think that's something that Stoic thought has really been helping me, especially more recently with
Hmm.
like all the events that have happened within the last man half year or so. Like it's crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have been going through a lot, especially in the last 3 years in your journey. Well, segueing into that, then, like the second part of the question, there's obviously a lot of uncertainty with your move.
Mhm.
What is your biggest fear with the upcoming move?
The move doesn't scare me. Making the move doesn't scare me.
Okay. Is there
Um,
anything about the move itself, or like change in scenery?
I think what scares me too is like I think the number one thing that scares me is like always being too comfortable, right? Like
Mm,
I think that's the thing, right? Like I think that's why I'm kind of resistant about like moving because I'm very comfortable in LA. Like I accept like I like the things around me a lot, but I don't want the same thing. I don't want the same feeling to happen in like Vegas for me where I feel comfortable. Like I can. lower cost of living, and it just like the golden handcuffs almost, right? Like what I felt in pharmacy. I don't want to ever hit that period as well. Also, like in terms of my goals and stuff too, like I always think like, can I hit these goals? Will I hit these goals as well? Right? Like those are some thoughts through my head that I think about as well. But yeah, it's
Well,
pretty crazy.
maybe I'll uh, jump into that next question, which
Okay.
was, what are your big picture goals? 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, or 20 years down the line. Like what is Kevin Yee, the refugee, trying to do down the line?
So I actually have this like all written out too as well,
Oh, you
but
scripted this for me. Nice. I like it. I
no,
like it.
I'm a planner. So I have like I'll start with the 5 year goals first.
Oh, you actually
Move
have
down
you have
to
like 5 year, 10 year.
no, not past 10 year, but I have
Okay.
my 5 year, 1 year. Oh, or I have each every year, but I'll highlight the year five, year one, and 6 months as
Okay.
well. Sound good?
Let's hear it.
All right. Or I could show it. No, I'll just read it out. So my 5 year goals 2026 is I want to be a 10 planet black belt in jujitsu. I think
Oh,
that's super important to me.
okay.
And I want to have like a private coach at that time too. My 5 year goal for YouTube is actually 3 million subscribers. Right. I really, yeah.
Wow. That's ambitious.
Yeah. Well, it's not as ambitious as you think it is because I'm modeling the same numbers that Ali's projected to hit as well. And if I'm using his framework, using using the same consultants that are helping him, I have no doubt I could hit those numbers too.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Um, Also with that number is like hit an MRR, like a monthly recurring revenue of 240K per month. The reason why I got this was again from Ali's numbers and stuff too. So I didn't
Two
make
240,000 per month.
he's projected, yes. He's making about 130K per month right now.
Jeez. Okay, so you're in 5 years. That's part of your goals too.
Uh-huh.
Okay, keep going.
Um I also like want to grow my kick-ass investing academy. I wrote this I wrote this like probably all December. So I want to hit 20 sales per day. So that's an estimated 2.1 million in revenue per year as well, right? I want to have a expand my coaching and have a monthly revenue of 33,333 dollars per month, right? Obviously, and be coaching about 10 students at a time for like 10K 3 month engagements. I want to do an inner circle escape offer. So this is really like this is kind of like a high level mastermind where it's like 50K. And it's not targeting like Joe Schmo who's watching YouTube, but it's targeting like high level executives and stuff. Might want a JV with someone with that too. Also in 2026, I want to start my Asian family at that point, right? I want to have like a family of four, or start working on that at the time.
Family of four, like two kids or like four kids.
For like two kids,
Okay.
you know.
Is it
Um,
does you said Asian family? Does the partner have to be Asian, or are you just referring to you?
yeah, I probably will end up marrying an Asian, ABG or something like that. ABG with a PhD. So
Okay, hold on. ABG or wholesome?
ABG. Like,
Why
well,
ABG? Actually, for the
okay.
audience who doesn't know, what is an ABG, Kevin?
Pull that up, Brian. Show them what an ABG is all about. No, an ABG is like Asian baby girl or whatever, right? It sounds pretty bad, but basically, it's like these women who are like they're the bad girls, they're the bad bitches that
Bad girls.
you're not supposed to go for, right? Mom won't be happy if you bring home these type of girls,
So why are
but
you attracted?
they're the ones that you have fun with and stuff like that. But I think like my ideal girl, like honestly, like for me, is like kind of like someone who has that side, but it's kind of like more reformed. I think that's like what I'm really into as well.
The
Like
reformed ABG?
yeah, because like I don't know, like it's kind of weird. Like this is going off topic a little bit, but it's like I can't see myself with like a yappy, right? It's too picture perfect and stuff like that, right? I'm really fascinated by like really intense stories. Like one of my friends, she's a reformed ABG as well, right? And she's like doing coke, she was like throwing her life away,
Oh.
but then like something I forgot that one moment as well that really changed, but then like she's 23 right now, she's making like six figures doing digital marketing and all that sort of stuff. She bought a home recently, she bought her Tesla, and now she's running a coaching business, which is like in the last few months she already made 30K just off that coaching business too, which is like really inspiring seeing someone so young do that as well. And it shows a lot of growth, and it shows like the vulnerability that you have to share that. It just like going through those like hurdles and challenges, it just there's a lot of values that are kind of conveyed through that as well, if that makes sense.
I agree with you. I think that I've always considered that I would go after a yappy as well, but I think in recent times, I think I would probably be similar to you. I'm chasing the reformed ABG.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
appreciate
so,
that.
yeah, it's like people are people make mistakes, and I like that. I love that like natural human flaw. I don't really get along with people who kind of hide that sort of stuff too. So that's like starting my Asian family of four. I wrote some things down about hiring some more coaches, like some top level world class coaches as well, and I also wrote lean down to 7% body fat by that time.
What's your body fat now?
Dude, it's fucking high, probably. It's probably like 20 plus or some shit like that.
No,
I
you're
haven't
just
done,
not
like,
20 plus. You,
I don't know. Probably. I have no idea. But like honestly, I haven't been doing jujitsu, or I've just been going to gym. So that's the goal that I have a coach right now. He's like, we can get you down there pretty soon. So we just started keto again. So
so
we're
this is your
seeing, man.
5-year goal, right? So far.
5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's
so,
next?
so notice I target health, wealth, and relationships on all these, right?
Oh,
So
why do you do that?
just because like in my opinion, those are three pillars that will make you that are needed for everything as well. So like to live a fulfilling life, at least like filling in those things. It's not everything, but it's a good place to start.
I actually wrote something similar down for 2021. I don't mean to like hijack your stuff.
Brian,
But-
stop hijacking my podcast. No, just
but
kidding. No,
no,
what are some of yours?
I appreciate that. No, I'm not going to share like some of mine necessarily, but I was asking you because I figured that you got it from someone more similar. I was watching Ali Abdal's one of his videos, and he talked
You
about
like him a lot, huh?
I mean, like, yeah, that stuff just naturally just draws me, productivity and self-help kind of stuff. But one of the things he talked about was the 20 life lessons in 2020 he learned about. And in that episode, he talked about the 4 components of an ideal life that he found that was spoken by Samantha Ryan when interviewed on a podcast by Naval Ravikant. And that is the same thing I structured my things around. You said health, wealth, and relationships. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one more that the 4 components is, and that's career and finances.
Oh, nice.
So that's my did not expect that. Yeah, so that's my 4 components, and that's what I try to focus on every day as well. So I appreciate that you structured it around those 3 things.
Yeah, for me, I know it's a little different for 9-to-5ers too, like in terms of because my wealth is directly tied to my business, right? So like,
But that's good. Like
yeah,
like you want like the 4 components of life. It's almost like, or like any component of an ideal life. You always have to make sacrifices. If you're doing this, you can't do this. If you're focusing on your mental, you can't focus on your physical. So one of the things that a lot of people recommend is like when one of them complements the other.
yeah,
So like if it's tied to it, that's great. You're like hitting two components with one thing. Right.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah. So those are my 5-year goals, like as well. You want to hear my 1 year and then 6 month? Do you want me to break those down?
Yeah.
So these are essentially smaller pieces of what I outlined as well. So year one, 2022, I wanted to do a JV with my friend Rich for a
what?
white label. My friend Rich from Rich and Niche.
What's JV?
JV, oh, joint venture.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I want to do a joint venture with him and deliver a white labeled sales program directly for digital marketers as well. So I want to do that. That way I can leverage his audience and really help their audience and also profit off of that too. I want to get my 10th Planet purple belt by the end of this year as well. YouTube goal for this year is 23K subs.
Damn.
I drill this into my editor all the time, like all the time. We're at 13.1 I think right now. So we got 10K left to go. And subs don't mean jack shit. It's a vanity metric, guys. But it's the one thing that we can just really focus on at the moment. That's really easy to look at as well, right?
Can I do a quick interruption here? And because there are a lot of people
Pause.
who quick pause. There's a lot of people who are doing like content creation in 2020 in light of the pandemic, or now 2021. You know, as someone who has been on YouTube and on so many social media platforms for these years, what would be like your number one advice to growing your brand or digital media content? You know, because you're saying one of your goals is to grow to 23K. What's like one piece of advice you would give to those people? One big thing, or two, if that helps.
Have they started? Are they creating consistent content yet, or are they
let's
trying
say
to optimize?
Let's say the small YouTubers or podcasters, like they have anywhere between 100 to 500 subs or listeners.
Okay. Well, one, if you're not creating consistent content, you gotta get on that shit. Like, dude, it's kind of like
Consistency. Then what's considered consistent content? Like once a day, once a week, once a month?
just a commitment, honestly. Like whatever you can do. Even if you want to do once a month, that's fine. But your audience should be able to expect. Like I'm really bad at this, but we've been very intentional on my YouTube channel more recently. If you can't tell, right? We're always doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If you go on to my Kick-Ass Investing, Monday, right? So I'm running 2 YouTube channels, and that's like the content schedule that we have at the moment, right? So that's what we're doing.
Okay.
But that's like the very basic level. It's like just be consistent.
Okay.
That's not nothing. But if you want to talk about like the person who is consistent, who is trying to grow, I would say the next best thing, hire something like video creators to do a full audit on your channel, actually. So that you can get a good idea of your brand. I just had an audit just the other day, and I thought I should have gotten one a long time ago, and I thought it was really insightful. Like they dove into my messaging, my content, they dove into everything, and I think it's a good thing to do early. Take the investment. Yes, you can always produce more content, but at that point you're consistent already, which is good. So you have the first block down, but we want to optimize that content next. That should be the second priority at that moment, so that you can have a better trajectory. I guarantee if I had that audit like back in 2016, if it was available to me, I would have a lot more subscribers and stuff like that. But sometimes you just learn the hard way. So those are 2 things. I think those are very simple. I didn't want to overcomplicate with tips and all that sort of stuff, because I can give that, but that's pretty easy. Yeah,
that's fair. All right, you can get back on the 1 year one.
Yeah. So 23K YouTube subscribers with a monthly revenue, recurring revenue of 1,600 per month. I want to get to a point of Kick-Ass Investing. This is really ambitious, but I want to get to a point of 1 sale per day through paid media. So I want to do that.
And can just to, because again, this is like
Google,
foreign language.
Facebook.
So
ads.
you're paying ads, and hopefully that converts to 1 sale a day. That's what it means. That's the metric you're trying to hit, right?
Yeah. So we're planning to do paid ads like probably mid-year. After like I'm focusing on one project at a time. So right this quarter, I'm focused on building my coaching business. So
can I ask what your budget is for ads? Like, are you putting a budget?
I have to establish it, but I don't know yet. I'm going to figure it out later. So I have no idea.
Is it like hundreds or thousands?
I don't know I don't know what the best thing for paid media is. So when the time comes, like I have these relationships in my life where I can just go to them and just be like, hey, I'm trying to do paid media. What are some things that I should be doing as well? That's why I'm growing the YouTube channel, to get more traffic and optimize on my back end. But my YouTube channel for that channel is really small. We have about 400 subscribers. So
still pretty good, man.
Well, for how many videos we did, we're less than 20 videos. So I think that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's that. Anyways, that's the goal. So hit 1 sale per day, which is 109K this year. Another goal is to have grow my one-on-one coaching to a monthly revenue of 16,666, which is like 10 students at 5,000 for 3-month engagements as well. So that's the goal.
Okay.
I want to this year too, this goes back to YouTube, is really streamlining a content maximizer strategy for my brand. So having YouTube, a newsletter, blog, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and a podcast. So I'm relaunching my podcast as well under a different name. I hired this really great guy. His name is Mike Kim, and he's been helping me kind of come up with the fundamentals of podcasts. I never took a course before, so I just decided, hey, let's take a coaching program from him. So it's totally worth it so far. Eventually, I also this year want to start building out a community for Refugee Hustle. So 100 students with $10 per month and per student of monthly recurring revenue, right? I have goals to hire out my content marketing team by the end of the year. So I want a writer for my YouTube channel, secondary editor to do like some B-roll edits and all that sort of stuff, content maximizer or social media manager, thumbnail designer, copywriter. I also want to lean down to 7% body fat this year too. Coach says that. I want to move into a luxury apartment by the end of the year. Like kind of like, you know, those really cool ones where has like the kind of like your view where it's like window down and stuff, and you can
Floor to ceiling windows.
Yeah, floor to ceiling windows. I really like that, and I think it'd be a good tax write-off too. So there's that. I want to do a hypothetical. Okay, this is hypothetical, but I hypothetically want to do a ayahuasca retreat this quarter.
Can you expand on that? Like, what does that mean for people who don't know?
It's like
including myself.
You don't know what ayahuasca is?
No? You mentioned it earlier, but I don't know what that is.
It's like it's like so ayahuasca, like there's ayahuasca ceremonies, and basically these are like this is very woo-woo, by the way, but it's very spiritual, and it's a ceremony. Apparently there's some psychedelics in there and stuff. And then it really forces you to be super introspective. They say it kills your ego. It helps you get over your trauma, like every woo-woo person says, get over your trauma, right? But even Joe Rogan says like it's very
So how does one embark on one of those ayahuasca? Is that what you said?
Yeah, so the legal way to do it is,
yeah, only legal here.
is you can go down South America. And by the way, the active ingredient inside of it is DMT as well. So yeah, and apparently this is like produced naturally by us as well, like especially when we're about to die. So yeah, but you can go down South America, there's shaman down there, and you go through this, you drink this tea, and then you basically you start the purge by shitting your brains out or puking your brains out as well. Yeah, and there's actually legal places you can do it in the US too. Like if you go to, for example,
you go to Taco Bell.
Yeah, you can go there. That'll give you that'll make you be introspective. Why the fuck did you talk about? Yeah, but there's like you can go to like religious churches and stuff that do ayahuasca as well. So that's anyways, that's what I want to do, because I feel like there's a lot of beliefs that I hope will be dissolved through that. But,
okay.
Hypothetically, I'm going. Right.
Hypothetically. Okay.
I start a podcast. I was going to call it Asian Entrepreneurs on Fire, ripping off entrepreneurs on fire, but no, I renamed it something else. It's going to be something, but launch a podcast and hire a business coach, which I've done this year. So that's my 1 year plan. It's basically like a scaled down version of my 5-year plan, right?
That's a lot of stuff, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hear anything about relationships, and I'm not talking about just romantic, just like relationships with friends, family. Why do I not hear that?
Because my relationship life is fucked right now. No, I would say
no, but on the real, like, why is that not part of your goals?
Because
it's part of your 5-year. You said you wanted an Asian.
It's part of my 5-year, so
why?
It's like prioritizing, right? Like, so I want to really spend the this year, like building up these assets that are so I can get my the wealth part of my life all taken care of and the health part of my life taken care of, so I can be in a good place to start my relationship life as well. I'm not saying it's not going to change, but honestly, like with the circumstances of when I was planning this out, I was like, I don't know the circumstances of COVID, right?
Mm.
So I think that's important to like to take context as well. And I usually review these goals too, like once a quarter. So these were created back in December,
During
during
your
Christmas.
retreat, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the last thing, it's not as long. This is a lot shorter, but my 6 month goals are develop a high ticket sales one-on-one coaching program. Just get one out. Help one business to business, a B2B business implement high ticket sales systems and assets to double their revenue and get a testimonial out of it. I did, there's that. I wrote reach 100K subscribers on YouTube within the next 6 months. The reason why this is out of line because I did my 6 month goals first before my retreat. I'd never updated as well, so I need to update that. Also 120K in revenue over the next 6 months. Build out next goal is build out my backend products or funnels for my personal brand and my business solutions as well. And the last thing is launch a paid mastermind. Of these 6 goals, I wrote these back in November, November 1st, 2020. I've already accomplished 3 of these. So I launched my one-on-one high ticket sales program and I got a sale out of it. I've implemented. I've helped one of my clients like double their revenue for their business. So I got that and I got a testimonial out of it. The third thing was build up my backend products and funnels, which was what I was doing during the month of November and December as well. So and the paid mastermind is going to come after my students graduate too. So yeah, so I would say I'm kind of on track for all this as well, and I think the 120K in revenue is definitely gonna come when when it rains, it fucking pours, dude. So we'll see. I might not hit it, but either way, I'm a lot closer than if I didn't write these goals down too. So that's kind of like my process of how I did my goals.
Another rapid fire question is cats or dogs?
The fuck? I love eating dog. No,
What'd you say?
kidding. Dogs.
Dogs. Okay.
Yeah, I'm allergic to cats, by the way.
Oh, I did not know that. Sushi or chicken katsu?
Sushi.
Sushi. Okay.
Katsu's good too, though.
Matcha tea or taro bubble tea?
Wait, matcha tea or taro bubble tea?
Yeah.
Both are pretty nice. No, matcha for sure.
Matcha. Okay. So the super random, right? I was just gonna say, I have to say, every single time I talk to you, I am impressed with your ability to execute. It's insane to think that, you know, some of these goals, which I would say are quite lofty, your ability to execute on them. And I think it's not only your execution, but it's the consistency of executing on these things and just going through it. I know it hasn't been easy either, but persistence too, you know, going through all the lows and still being able to consistently execute and produce is very admirable. The other thing is, maybe we probably should wind down on the live stream here. So it's been an hour and 8 minutes, but maybe more of like a fun question, and it's not so much related to this topic at all.
Yeah.
But I know you've been on it. Is everyone is talking about Clubhouse? Give me some of your thoughts on Clubhouse. Like, I know you love clubs, so I already know you were on that. Tell me your thoughts on this Clubhouse, like with some things.
Yeah, I think that like in this day and age, we're still exploring like the implications of Clubhouse and what it's all about. And if you guys don't know what Clubhouse is, just to recap, it's this new app. It's an invite only app. It's iOS. So I bought a freaking iPhone just to go on Clubhouse. By the way, I bought an iPhone 11 Pro.
Damn.
By the way, yeah. So I did that, and so I did that just because my coach, he was like, you got to get on Clubhouse, Kevin. And I was like, okay, because I like talking. I like talking and I like connecting with people. And so I jump on it, and it's been kind of cool. I've been meeting a lot of cool people, honestly, through the platform. I actually got my first client through the platform too, just like talking to people, and just it's a very natural way. Now there's people who pitch all the time on platforms and stuff, which is really, it's kind of fucking sleazy and will kill Clubhouse, honestly. But I think the authentic, especially if you're a business, authentically making connections with people is really great. I mean, for example, you can go there for business type of stuff. So I was talking to this doctor as well. Like she's like the doctor for what's that, Housewives, the something Housewives of OC or some shit like that. Real Housewives.
Real Housewives of. Isn't there a couple versions? I
Yeah,
think
there's a
about
few.
Real Housewives of Atlanta is one of the ones I think of.
Yeah, but I met the doctor for the OC one,
Oh, cool.
and she was like, I want to do more digital marketing type of stuff. So I'm meeting like people who are healthcare professionals who want to do that digital marketing stuff too. So that's cool. I think I was a little late where I couldn't meet like the top level people, so that kind of sucked. But
Dude, I think
on the other hand,
dude, I think you have a fan, like someone that keeps pinging your name on the live chat.
oh, something, Matt. Yeah, so there's that, but also there's some funny, entertaining stuff on there. So the other day
Like what?
I was like, I was on the shoot your shot.
People were telling me about how you were like talking to all the girls on Clubhouse. Tell me about that. Is that what you're doing?
I was on shoot your shot. Yeah, it was funny, man. My friend was like, "Yo, shoot your shot at me, Kevin. What you got?" Right? And so yeah, I was like, okay, let's raise my hand. No, I'm not gonna lie, there's like 600 plus people there. I was like, holy shit, there's a lot of people, yo. Wait,
all right, right now, pretend I am an attractive girl at ABG Reformed. How would you come approach me?
Well, that was my friend who's the Reformed ABG, so I might as well just tell you the story, right? Okay. It was pretty freaking funny. So I raised my hand, and I actually got selected, right? And I was like, oh shit, this is crazy. What am I gonna say? And I was like, okay. So I wrote a few things down too about like what I was gonna say.
Pre-written's supposed to be off the dome, man.
No, it's not freestyle. Actually, it was Freestyle Friday. I fucked up, but then I was just like. This is really by the way, how did you find out that I was on shoot your shot? Because I was only
everyone was talking about it. There was so many people that was messaging me like, yo, Kevin's on Clubhouse talking to all these girls. But it doesn't surprise me either. Everyone who doesn't know Kevin is like, he doesn't even need to shoot his shot. He just walks around and shots just come out.
Actually, surprisingly, that's kind of more true these days than before. Like before, I never used to like, but it's kind of like hard to find a partner. Anyways, fuck it. You want to hear the story, right?
Wait,
and so I got called on and stuff, and I was like, "Yo, what's up? I'm really excited to be here." And I was like, "Yo, I just gotta shoot my shot." So just to give you guys a little background, I'm a pharmacist. Valentine's Day is right around the corner. I'm trying to look for my ABG with the PhD, right? That's what I said. They're like, oh, shit, ABG with the PhD, bro. But that's an oxymoron. You can't have an ABG with the PhD. And I was like, exactly why I'm single, right?
That's pretty good.
So I said that, right? And they're like, okay, cool. Who do you want to shoot your shot at? And I was like, yo. So I shot my shot at one of the homegirls. Like, her name's Athena. And it was really funny because she was like, yeah, shout me out and stuff. And they're like, Athena, come to the stage. It sounds like a stripper, like, Athena, come to the stage and stuff. And then she was like, they're like, hey, talk about yourself, Athena. And she's like, I'm making 6 figures and whatnot. As a digital marketing, blah, blah, blah. How many figures do you make, Kevin? And I was like, yo, before I answer that question, because I'm a closer, right? I always redirect questions. Before I answer that question, I got a more important question to ask you. Since I'm a pharmacist, I gotta ask you this. Girl, you got an inhaler? Because you got asthma. Like, that's my go-to line
so
back in pharmacy. And they're like, oh shit, like, yeah, everybody's going fucking crazy, right? Yeah, it was hella funny. And Yeah. It was a fun time, man. I just love fucking. But that's like what I think of Clubhouse. It's like cool stuff where you can interact with people long form to have serious conversations, and then there's rooms where you can just shoot your shot and just fuck around, dude. Like I don't think too much of it. I don't think people really remember me for
I'm
shooting.
sure they remember you. I mean,
Maybe.
again, a lot of
Yeah.
people were mentioning you outside. They were like tagging me. They're like,
Who
"Yo,
was mentioning? Was it all pharmacy related though?
yeah, all pharmacy people."
Yeah, because I was talking about it last night on that too, like as well. So
Oh, okay,
I was
yeah.
talking like Norman and stuff like that too. So
Oh, gotcha. Let's acknowledge like to some of the people in the chat. I just saw it earlier.
sure. Yo, Tim, what's up?
Tim called out. What's up, Tim?
Yeah.
Riyal, how do you feel like Amazon Pharmacy might affect the saturation issue we already have in the pharmaceutical field? Any positive things? I don't know. This Clubhouse
For me or you? There was actually a huge discussion on this on Clubhouse. It was very deep. There was like a consultant that came on. I tuned out. I was like,
really about what Amazon specifically?
uh-huh. Yeah, I think it was Amazon specific actually. They were talking about Amazon specifically. And so there's like almost like a McKinsey like type of consultant on the call. It was really interesting. I was just busy though. I didn't have time to listen to it. But yeah.
I have been off of Clubhouse for like the last 10 days. It's quite addicting, but
Yeah.
I enjoy those conversations a lot more. I actually try to stay away from a lot of the pharmacy conversations. I think there was one time I was on Clubhouse, the last time I was on it was like 7 hours straight, listening to some guy talk, a British guy, which British accent already makes you sound smarter.
Yeah.
But listening to him talk about crypto and how it's going to be, this decentralized finance that is going to be change the world and all this kind of stuff. It was so impressive listening to this guy. That was the last time I was on it, but
That's really interesting, man. Yeah, I mean, I listen to crypto stuff sometimes, but like it's hard because I know like a lot of the top players in well, not a lot, but I know like people like Charlie Lee, owner of Litecoin, and he used to do Coinbase, right? He was the director of Coinbase at one point, from what I understand.
you know him?
Yeah, I know him. I'm friends with yeah, I messaged him earlier like as well. I was like, yo, Charlie, it's been like a while since we last spoke. How are you doing? He's like, you can't complain in a bull market for crypto space. I was like,
Yeah.
thank God I kept all my crypto, man. I wish I invested more, but like honestly, I didn't really have the ability. I didn't like, given my circumstances, I couldn't keep on investing like I was when I was in pharmacy too. But
You've
I
probably
actually,
got a decent amount of crypto already because you've been
do.
investing for a while.
Yeah, and then I invested more recently, not into like Bitcoin and stuff, like because I invested
Altcoins.
into yeah, and so this isn't
Dogecoin?
This is not. No, I did not do Dogecoin.
Oh no!
Yo, my
I had to
friend,
jump on that.
yo, my friend, like that same friend that I shot my shot at as well, that she told me to. She was like she's in the crypto thing too. I was like, what do you like? Do you like Doji style, bro? No, but yeah, in terms of crypto, you just have to be careful who you listen to, because like everybody's just like how we're going through the stock market right now. Everybody's an expert when there's a bull market, but guess what? All those experts disappeared when we were going through a bear market, when everything was tanking in crypto as well. So it's like I'm very wary of who I listen to in the crypto space too. But
Give me one person you listen to.
myself,
Damn, talk about arrogance. Holy shit.
Charlie. I'd rather listen to Charlie than anyone.
Have you heard of Shamath?
No.
You should listen to Chamath. He has been one of the most impressive individuals I've listened to in the last 2 months.
Okay. Yeah,
but check him out.
I'm open to that.
I think you would be very impressed with Chamath.
Yeah, I'm like really, I mean, it depends what kind of investor you are, right? So I know how to day trade and stuff too, but I'm not interested in all the tax implications and all the like maintenance that you need to do and all that. I'm more of a long-term investor. I like to put my money. Yeah, I like to kind of like hodl, I guess, what people call it, right? No, but I like to invest in these long-term assets so I don't have to micromanage. I can focus more back into my business, right, as well. I think that's the play for me. But I invested into Chainlink. Like I invested almost like 2 to 3K on Chainlink recently.
Damn. So, do you mind sharing how much you have in crypto? Like either a percentage of your portfolio or a raw number? I can tell you that I'm like 0.5% for me.
0.5% of your portfolio, entire
Yeah.
portfolio.
Yeah, entire.
Well, I don't know the percentage because it grew quite a bit recently. But I guess like I was checking some of my crypto. I don't have my Blockfolio app on me. It was on my old phone, so I need to look that up. So, but I checked one of my accounts. I had at least like 25 G's in there. That's just one account, and
Dang,
I
that's a
have like
lot in crypto.
yeah, but it grew a lot. I didn't really. It grew a
Oh,
crazy amount.
that's the final growth amount. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's the final
That's
growth
that's
amount.
a good amount.
One account. I have like
A couple.
multiple as well. So, um, which yeah. So
Oh, what is it? Look at the chat. Emmy says, "How can I find people to invite me to Clubhouse?" Emmy, if you want to
yeah,
drop, yeah, hit me up too.
you
Put
just want the invites,
Yeah, I
bro.
just want the invite. I invited like 12 people. Emmy, if you want
Yeah,
to.
you invited Paul. I asked Paul, and you you
Yo, but
hopped
I
on.
invited him a while ago. He didn't even accept my invite. Who is it? Emmy, drop your. Oh, you have to drop your email, phone number
No,
though.
no, no,
Don't
don't
put it in
do it.
here. Don't put it in
Okay.
here. If you send me
Yo,
an email,
if you like, okay, let's do a contest. If you like Brian more, send it to Brian. Send it to Boring Brian. But if you want excitement in your life, and you like me more, send it to Killer Kev,
sounds
bro.
like a Viagra commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. If you want Kevin's referral, you can send it to him. I'll drop both the
I don't.
emails.
I honestly don't care. Like, do whoever you want. If you want Brian, you can go Brian. But otherwise, go Killer Kev, not Boring Brian. Hashtag.
Killer Kev.
Can we get a hashtag Boring Brian in the chat? No, just kidding.
This hater over here.
Yeah.
Matt's asking you what kind of pharmacist are you?
It says pharmacist entrepreneur on this live stream chat. I don't know. I'm not really a pharmacist anymore,
He's like
guys.
throwing shade all over the place today.
I'm not. I'm really. I mean, like, would you consider me as a pharmacist at this point, Brian?
No, not really.
Yeah.
Probably
But
not
my
at all.
license says so.
I guess you
No,
are.
but
Yeah, you technically
I mean,
are.
technically, I am. So this actually brings up a good point. Actually, I was on a speaker panel for one of the pharmacy rooms recently, and they're like, "What's that one piece of advice for, future pharmacists and stuff like that?" And it's a very generic question. I was trying to be very polarizing, but what I told them was like, "Okay, kill your identity as a pharmacist, right? You too many times we pigeonhole ourselves as thinking I'm just a pharmacist, right? But in fact, the way to rethink this, and I'm not saying as elegantly as I did on the chat, but what I said was like, you remember you're always a person, and you're a person who solves problems as well, right? And I said something like, you can't. I think that's something like what I said as well, but the gist is like, don't pigeonhole yourself as a pharmacist. Like, think of about how you can improve how can you solve a problem as a person. And that's why I'm so like multifaceted, I guess, right? Because I never really thought of myself as only a pharmacist. If I did that, I would still be in the pharmacy or some other part of pharmacy that I wouldn't be happy at as well, right? So that's like my main point.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I feel like a lot of people are jumping on that momentum though, like building your own brand and people talking about there's so many other things you can do besides just being a pharmacist, like starting podcasts or starting different side hustles and things like that.
Yeah, but it's funny. I mean, the people like is what's really funny is that as I was going through Clubhouse too, I think Clubhouse is actually a great way to test out. Like, if you're a business, you can test out your product ideas by talking to your target audience as well. What I realized as well, like when I say high ticket programs, high ticket sales, people understand it until they're at a right level of their business, until they're trying to sell their actual offer or product, right? And that's when people. So I think like for me, I think I'm honestly recession proofing myself by mentioning that I'm in high ticket sales, because eventually, like, all these pharmacists who want to do shit, they're gonna need to monetize. They're not at that stage yet. They're just in the high level market. They're like where we were like a few years ago on these different platforms, right? I'm not saying that we're we're like the top YouTubers on pharmacy. There's a lot of younger channels that are actually doing really, really well, but we've left our mark on this platform at least.
Yeah.
You know?
There's some more chat questions for you. Or I guess like addressing some generic stuff. Tim says, "What happened to Paul? I think he's getting
No, I like Kevin more." Says Matt.
Ah, damn. Hey, yo, Matt's probably one of your subs, isn't he?
Yeah, Matt's cool, man. He drops through my DM sometimes.
True,
so,
true.
yeah.
It's okay, Matt. I'll convert you one day. Don't worry. I'll convert you. Did he get his 41st job? Paul's been chilling. I don't even know what Paul's been doing. He's always quiet. We try to reach out to him every now and then. But
yeah, Paul's going through a lot of stuff too. Like
he's busy. He's a busy
Yeah.
guy. Lots of stuff going on in Paul's life.
family stuff and
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I actually watched that video, man. It was very heartbreaking. It was not heartbreaking, but it's just
Why
like,
he was like away for a while.
Yeah, I felt
watched
that, man. So yeah.
I think he was also getting his CPR certification renewed.
He hates Brian too. He hates Brian.
He probably hates me. Yes, for sure. Both Paul and Kevin hates me. I know that. It's okay.
Yo, he got mad at you for like doing that video with me. He's like, "There's one thing that Ken makes fun of me, but yo, Brian, he's an asshole." Man. No, just kidding.
I low key believed that for a second. I wonder if Paul secretly has some like
Hate.
some hate, because I do throw a little bit of shade every now and then, but you know, it's all love, Paul, if he watches this.
Yeah.
Hi guys, I'm a pharmacist. I have lots of money. Will you date me?
Ooh, question for you, Brian.
What's up?
Would you just date someone just because they have a lot of money? Is that a major factor for you in terms of like financial status for a female
No, not at all. Like
or a male, whatever you prefer?
for a male, yes, they have to be. For a female, no. I mean, in general, no. It's financial status is not anything to me. I think it's just the ability to connect with someone on a emotional level, and they have to be a reformed ABG.
ABG, yeah.
Yeah, I like the ABGs.
Yeah.
But why do you ask?
No, because like this is very interesting because I actually had a former friend in school, and it was actually kind of a turnoff. Actually, like, she actually
That they
I
made
don't
too
know.
much?
No. She was like, I was like, "How's life?" Right? I stopped talking to her because she was hitting on me like a few years ago, and she's my friend's ex, so I didn't want any part to do with that. Right?
Such a wholesome guy. I would have been.
Yeah. You
I keep
would
going.
have
No,
done
no,
some
no. I wouldn't have. No, I'm a wholesome guy.
unethical Brian. No,
No.
just hashtag unethical Brian.
All right, keep going with your story. Let's skip.
No, but like I was like I was thinking about like recently because I went on a walk with one of my college friends and stuff, and we are just shooting shit. And I was thinking about all the college friends I had in the past. So I started hitting people up and I was like, "Hey, yo, how is life? How are you doing with this whole pandemic thing and all that?" And one of my friends was like, I was like, "Hey, are you married yet or anything like that? Have kids?" Because it's been like a few years, like almost 7 years since I spoken to some of these people. And she was like, "Not married, but I have a lot of money." And she just kept on throwing money. I was like, you can date me, like you can marry me and stuff. I was like, this is such a turnoff, honestly, because if you're tying yourself just to your self-worth just to money, that's a really unattractive, at least in my opinion, right? I mean, money is cool and all. Like, I'm obviously in business. Like, I do things because I want to. I love the personal journey of making money as well. Like, I think that's a very powerful thing. But when your self-identity is just tied to wealth, I'm not attracted to that, and that's why I brought that up.
But it's not even about money necessarily. It just sounded like it was arrogance or pretentious.
It's like based out of insecure. I think like, yeah, there's a bit of that, but I think the underlying thing is like it's such based
I
out
mean,
of
no, but like,
insecurity.
use another example. Like, let's say it's not money. It's I have CPR certifications. So many CPR certifications. It's like if they keep saying it, it's almost like I don't like you not because of the CPR certification. I don't like you because you're coming off as very arrogant. I think that's a turnoff in general. Is that how it? I mean, that's the way you're describing
Maybe that's
it.
your like how you like how I can see where you're coming from in terms
What
of
the hell?
arrogance,
Dennis the
but
trolls in the house.
but for me, it's like, yo, I don't fuck with that shit. Like in terms of like, I don't want like I think about it as a very selfish point of view. Like, my partner, right? This is gonna be the mother of my children. Like if I don't wrap it up, so like I'm just very real talk, right? I mean that's the goal, right?
Oh, this is
And so like
PG.
and so like yeah, it's biology, guys.
Kevin actually
I
likes it raw, but
I hit it raw. No, but like I always think about it as like the mother of my children and stuff. And are these the values that I want to hand down to my children? I'm like, no. Like I don't want my kids having their self-worth tied to money all the time as well, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. Wealth is super, super important, but it's not everything at the end of the day.
I agree. But I will say like a converse competing
Argument.
view. Yeah, somewhat. And it's not directly related, but there was one time where I was talking to someone who is a cardiothoracic surgeon. I was like, for a split second, I was thinking, I could be a trophy husband. Like I could be a house dad. Like
Yeah.
I wonder how much she makes. Cardiothoracic surgeon? I can't even imagine. Hundreds of thousands of dollars and I can just like chill and do whatever. But then at the end of the day, like you were saying, money isn't everything. And it was not like she was flaunting it or anything, but
No. And I mean, hey, if you worked hard for it, yo, you have all the right to flaunt stuff. It's just like personal preference though. If I'm dating, like if I'm dating you and stuff like that, right? I just don't want to be associated with those people who are just like I respect people who do like really great things, right? But I just think it's kind of like the back of my head, I just want to date someone. I don't want to date someone who's that insecure, who comes off that insecure. At least I don't know if they're actually insecure. No one knows. They do, only they do. But that's my perception, at least.
the way you described the person just now seems like she was a little
I can read
insecure.
you the text if you really want to. It's
Well, I thought this was on a walk. Like, weren't you guys walking in this?
no. This was through a text. Like I was walking with my
Oh,
other friend, and I was thinking about all my friends in college and stuff, and I hit this girl up. So yeah.
yeah, you got a strong fan base over there with Matt.
You know, yeah. Is he gonna type in boring Brian? No, I'm just kidding. That's funny.
This is like funny chat questions. Sorry, this is like some of the more serious ones. I'm not very interested in answering. Like, what are your thoughts on like pharmacogenomics?
Uh I don't know. I have no opinion on it.
I have a lot of
What about
opinions on it, but I'm not. I'm just not very interested in talking about more serious topics right now. There's a lot of thoughts about pharmacogenomics. I think there's a lot of opportunity. If you look at legislation, there's a lot of funding for it. So there's a lot of opportunity in pharmacogenomics, and maybe I'll just leave it at that. But
is Kevin still part of HTC? What did he think about that, man? I could go on forever about that, but long answer short, man. Like,
Thanks, Tim.
Be careful who you learn from. That's all I'll say. I'll be completely honest. I mean, I didn't learn that much from that program. Made some great connections that helped me like kickstart my career, but didn't learn. Everything came from experience.
yeah, speaking of which, for
Have
folks,
have you cleaned your bathroom yet? Dennis was telling me that story, man. That's disgusting.
I don't even know what he's talking about. I don't know what story he's talking about.
We're not gonna blow. Yeah.
But anyways, I'm curious about the what were you just talking about just now? Oh, HTC. Because this will be reposted on the Subtle Asian Voices channel, can you tell me what would be like one or two key things that you would recommend to individuals who are interested in learning the skill set that you have? Like, it sounds like,
Sales consulting as well. Well, I would say like, oh yeah, go ahead.
no, keep going.
Oh yeah, I would say like, there's a few things that you want to do. One, I have a lot of content about what I do as well that kind of break down the intricacies of what I do. So there's that. But I think an important thing, even whether it's pharmacy, whether it's like high ticket sales or whatever you're trying to do, I think it's important just to really talk to people and just really get the ins and outs of what it's all about, you know. the pros, the cons. What are some of the things that they wish they knew before entering this field? What were some of the surprises that you went through as well? These are kind of the things I try to document in like a lot of my videos more recently, but I think that's step one. Step two, this is not meant to be a plug, by the way, but like I said, I have like a free masterclass, which is like 2 hours long. And I go into what a high ticket program is, what a high ticket offer is, what is the structure of how to sell a high ticket program. If you watch that and you're bored as fuck, guess what? Probably not for you, right?
Where
And that'll give you.
where can people find it? Is it like a video? Is it?
Yep. Kaizen closing dot kaizenclosing.com/masterclass, and you can get that all for free.
Okay.
So that's like a free sales training, whether you're an entrepreneur or you want to be entrepreneur or you want to be a closer. It's like the number one resource I would recommend at the moment. I think it gives a really dumbed down and also very like very detailed look at what high ticket sales is as well. So I think that will give you a good idea of what that is.
Okay, not bad. And maybe that will wrap up the video that's been an hour and a half streaming. We had probably some dedicated listeners. It seems like Tim's been here for a while, but shout out to Tim for sticking around. And
Yo, shout out to Tim. By the way, shout out to Tim. He always leaves really heartfelt comments on my YouTube channel as well.
yeah,
So major shout out to him.
just on that note, it'd be nice to actually bring Tim into one of the conversations. I feel like I've talked to Tim on and off in either your live streams or in comments and things like that. And he always has some very
Interesting perspectives.
very interesting perspectives. It'd be interesting to bring him on to one. Have you ever talked to him like
I
in
don't
real
know
time?
what he's like in real life, dude.
Yeah, me either. Me either. But like
I don't have a way to hit him up either. I'm just like, fuck. I don't know. Maybe we should stalk him and try slide in his DMs.
yeah. Well, anyways, we're kind of wrap this up. It's getting late, and thanks Kevin for sharing a lot of thoughts. We kind of went on a huge tangent, talking about random stuff, but hopefully the audience enjoys and stuff like that. But is there any last tips or shout outs or plugs you want to give to the audience? Again, the main purpose of the video was to get insight into what you do. So if there's any like plugs you want to do and stuff like that, you do that.
Sure. I'll give some plugs. First plug is, hey, make sure to like this video. It will boost the algorithm for subtle Asian voices for that channel. So do that. It actually means a lot to the algorithm. So if you guys can do that and watch it through, that'd be really great for them. So that's one for them. One for me would be let's say if you're interested in anything that I do, you want to chop it up or whatever, you can go to refugiehustle.com/links. Hold on. refugiehustle.com/links. That has that's kind of like a link tree. My personalized link tree has like free resources to my newsletter, my social media handles. You can slide in my DMs, my articles, YouTube videos, masterclasses, trainings as well. So it has a bunch of stuff there that can help you. And I think that's pretty much all my plugs, dude. I don't really have that many. So
Okay.
as well.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to get a high ticket closing, you're interested in this sort of field. Yeah, you're an entrepreneur, or you want to dive into this field, go to kaizenclosing.com/masterclass, and that'll give you a good high level breakdown.
Okay. I'm sure a lot of the folks in the audience would be interested in learning. So I'll make sure to connect with Kevin to get all the links and post it in the description of the video as well. But all right, guys, thanks everyone for tuning in. A lot of folks said, Tim says, I'm a man of mystery.
We're going to find you, Tim.
Yeah, we're gonna find you and
slide in your DMs.
slide in your DMs. All right. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks, Kevin, for being a guest on the show. And then we will see you all next time. Thanks, guys.
Later, guys.
Bye.